out. The guy with the nickname Texas took me out.
Well, you're not the first.
You mean he mows over?
Oh, he's knocked out quite a few players in his time, and he's knocked himself out even more than that.
One of the key elements in poker is not only knocking out your opponents, but don't be your own worst enemy and knock yourself out. Good point, Jesse May. As now we're back to the action, and it's folded around to the small blind. Christopher Black, who's got ace-jack. Black with ace-jack.
Now, the fact that Norman Walsh is the big stack in the big blind, does that influence how he wants to play this hand?
Absolutely not. He needs to make a nice, a nice 3 or 4 times the big blind bet here. I expect him to make it somewhere between 10 and 14,000.
Raise 8 more. 12 total.
He makes it 12,000 as expected. Good play.
And he split the middle, and Walsh, who is dominated with the jack, peeling off the flop.
Wow. Walsh making the long call with Jack-9, looking for a free bus ride. 10-5-4, Jess.
They have both missed. Continuation coming from Chris Black here.
Continuation bet, very important. It's tough to do when you don't flop a pair, but you have to remember that, when your head's up in a situation, either player is an underdog to improve their hand. So it's important to follow it up with a continuation bet and establish your position, especially if you're the pre-flop raiser, which Black was. He does make the continuation bet.
Yeah, and it's a nice size, too, 20,000. I mean, if Walsh wants to make a play here, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for Walsh to make a play here. He's got to make a huge re-raise. I don't think he's going to do it. He's going to fold. But he looks like a guy that wants to mix it up, doesn't he? He
sure
looks like
does.
a guy that's just, out there saying, hey, you want to go to the back in the alley? You want to go outside? Doesn't he look like the guy that says, hey, you want to go outside, buddy?
Yeah. Are you talking to me?
See? Look, he even pointed at him. He's going to make him count it down. This guy has jack high. He has absolutely no hand, and he's putting it to his opponent, at least psychologically, even if he doesn't make the bet.
Kenna, he's done everything but call Chris Black punk.
An excellent point, Jesse May. And I think he's doing that in his head.
Make it behind.
About that, yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
He put the fear of God in me.
Did he say that? Did he say, what did you make it, punk? No, he didn't. His hand's over his mouth, but that's certainly...
Chris Black, I mean, they don't have guys like this in Boston.
Wow, I know. I tell you, this is not how you want to win a pot. I mean, he's got the best hand, and he's got to suffer almost humiliation by Norman Walsh with jack high. Wow, when he sees that, he certainly...
And let that teach you a lesson. Whew.
I won't be surprised if that sweater comes off in the next round after the stare down of Norman Walsh.
Well, Kenna, this game has been all Norman Walsh. What do you make of him?
Well, I don't know what to make of him. He's got a game plan that is very confusing, which is going to make it hard for his opponents to get a read on him.
Well, no one has caught him yet. No one has stopped him. No one has even put up any resistance. It's moving to 3,000 and 6,000 now.
Right.
What's going to be the key tactics for these players to put a stop to him?
Well, the key is going to be, will somebody pick up a big hand when Norman is out there? Because he doesn't look like he wants to give up much. So if he gets tied into a hand and somebody makes, has an overpair against him, look out. We could see some fireworks.
Player to watch. Who is this level the most important for?
Well, obviously the short stack, Anil is going to have to get out there and gamble it up. I think it's most important for Filardi to see, which direction he's going to go. Is he going to fall down, or is he going to grow his stack and become a factor in this race tonight?
Will the short stacks get back in the game? Will Walsh continue the waddle?
No one to play with? There's always PartyPoker.com.
Welcome back. Well, we've lost our first man, but there's still all to play for. 5 still being dealt in. It's cards and chips in the air. Let's get back to it.
all in.
Here we just say that Anil had to get it in one of the next two hands, and luckily he found a hand, ace-queen.
Yeah, I mean, he probably
Pass.
would have done that move with either one of the
Pass.
two cards. He's got them both. And unless John Filati decides to call him, Anil will have stolen these blinds.
Well, I don't know if I would really use the word steal when you have ace-queen, but he will definitely pick them up.
22,
Ooh, this would be a wonderful call for
16,000 more.
Anil, give him a chance to get
for
right
Anil,
back in.
yeah,
wouldn't it?
if he should get Filardi into this pot.
And Filati has said call. It'll
Yep.
be a race right now, and Anil in fantastic shape here. A chance to really get back in this heat.
Yeah, well, the pot's 47,000. It would be a welcome relief for Anil Gurnani.
Anything but a deuce, he's thinking right now.
Significant favorite. This is the position you like to see yourself in when all your chips are in the middle. Significant favorite as we go to the flop.
And Filati doesn't mind. It's the duck.
Now that's incredible. Holy cow, the deuce comes out. Filardi jumps into the lead. Now Gurnani's going to need a queen or a 10 to make the straight, or he will be out of here.
Yeah, he's gone from way ahead to way behind. And turn no help at all. Although, excuse me, a jack or a king now would still keep Anil in this game, wouldn't it? It's giving him a couple
Yep,
extra
that's right.
outs.
It gives him a couple extra outs. Any jack or a king will win it, or a 10 or a queen. Anything above a 10, and Gurnani will double up. Otherwise, he's back to the monastery.
Jack actually for a split pot, but here's the river. Ooh!
It's an 8. And
Two pair beating one there. And really the story of this heat has been good plays except for one mistake. Anil doing his dough there, and now out in fifth. If you're going to predict a confrontation here, Kenna, who is most likely to match up?
well, if it's going to be a big confrontation, it's probably going to be against John Filardi and Chris Black. I'm just kidding. If you had a big fire in the building, they would be making sure everybody got escorted out before they ran for the exit. Let me tell you. He must have heard me. Is Chris Black going to step up the action a little bit here on the button?
Raise.
You know, we've seen him fold some big
18,000
hands from his
total.
button, but now with the 9-3, and this is ill-timed because Walsh has found a big hand in the small blind. And I mean, how big is Ace-Jack right now?
Well, when you play as many hands as Norman Walsh does, it's very big. I mean, he's playing, you know, the king highs and the jack highs and the 10 highs. So when you see ace-jack, believe me, it looks like two aces.
Looks like Norman Walsh is trying to convince himself he doesn't have anything.
And this time he folds. Explain that one to me, Jesse May. He calls with the king 10 and folds the ace-jack. I told you, he has a confusing strategy, not only to us, but to himself.
Well, this is amazing.
Connor
Call.
Tate, well, you know, he's making a great call here.
I mean,
with
we've
the
seen
8-9
Connor Tate
clubs.
fold some big hands in this exact same spot against the exact same player, but in a dominating situation, he seems to have picked something up, KJ.
Well, you know, he picks up, you know, a little bit of frustration. As we said, Chris Black has raised his blind so many times in the past. Each time he had a hand. This time, he actually flops a better hand. He's got bottom pair, but Connor Tate has an open-end straight and two overcards.
I
There's-
feel like money's going in here.
Yeah, there's trouble written all over this pot.
Who is the favorite right here?
I think Connor Tate, well, no, because the 9 will actually make Black two pairs, so he'll be the favorite.
Okay, 28,000.
The 9 is not an out for Connor Tate.
Connor Tate's moved
Raise,
all in.
All in.
And this is going to be a very tough call for Chris Black, who is a 55% favorite in this spot.